We are opposing this legislation for a variety of reasons, the strongest being concern for the safety of the students.
It's very easy to say, I'm on the side of the kids.
My child could have a deadly seizure tomorrow.
In politics, everybody says they're on the side of the kids, but who really is?
It was an ordinary morning, except that morning Gianna's principal called and said they had to call 911 because she had a seizure. It can be a life or death situation for Gianna.
Gianna DeLorenzo survived that day, but her father Pat worries about next time.
She has tumors located in her brain which are causing uncontrolled epilepsy, seizures.
We have this beautiful, high-functioning daughter. Something go wrong.
Most seizures stop on their own, but Gianna is one of about 10,000 California school kids who suffers from the type of prolonged seizures that, without a quick response, can result in brain damage or death.
If the body doesn't trigger the brain to shut off that seizure, you have to do something to interrupt it. Diastat is the drug designed for that purpose.
The delivery system was designed to be used by non-medical professionals because it's a syringe that is already pre-filled to the exact dose. It's approved by the FDA for lay people to use.
Dr. Howard Terrace is a professor of pediatrics at UC San Diego and a medical consultant to school districts in California.
It is a safe medication.
Safe and fast-acting, says Terrace. It works so fast because it's administered rectally.
Rectally, the drug is absorbed very quickly.
You can't wait 5, 7, 8 minutes for paramedics to show up.
And ambulances usually don't carry Diastat, says Terrace.
Ambulances will have to pick that child up, take that child to the hospital. That child will have to be then assessed quickly at the hospital, and only then will that child be able to get their Diastat.
A new California bill would allow children to receive Diastat faster.
Let's go ahead and start with SB 1051.
The bill's sponsor, State Senator Bob Huff.
This bill will help ensure the safety of the countless children throughout California who live with epilepsy and give their parents peace of mind.
Dr. Terrace urged lawmakers to pass the bill.
The Diastat decision is not one of those difficult decisions. It is a no-brainer decision.
The bill would allow teachers and other non-medical school employees to administer the drug if they volunteered and received training. The bill enjoys the support of groups like the Epilepsy Foundation, the California Medical Association, and the Association of California Neurologists.
We urge you to vote no.
I strongly oppose this bill.
But not everyone supports the bill.
The California School Nurses Organization,
the California School Employees Association,
one after another,
the California Labor Federation,
the California Nurses Association.
Union leaders urge lawmakers to vote no.
California Teachers Association,
the California Federation of Teachers,
Union of Healthcare Professionals in opposition.
Why the opposition?
We are opposing this legislation for a variety of reasons, the strongest being concern for the safety of the students.
This is a very dangerous medication.
What if it's a female student
that is injected in a very delicate part of the body?
There is no distance, far distance, between the vaginal cavity and the rectum cavity.
They're worried about child molestation cases. Hello, you're saving my child. The unions are not on the side of the children in this.
It's exactly the opposite. We care deeply for children, and we want them to receive the most appropriate care, and that means they need a licensed medical person caring for them. The misconception about Diastat is that it's such a safe drug that anybody can give it.
Gail McLean is the Southern Section President of the California School Nurses Organization.
Well, some of the problems with Diastat is that it can lower their respiratory rate. It can affect somebody's breathing afterwards.
It might cause shallow breathing, they say. When my daughter has already not been breathing for 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, that shallow breathing far beats the other option of not breathing.
But we don't have to speculate about what might happen if non-nurses were allowed to give Diastat, because that's what did happen in California for about 10 years. Until the California Nurses Board changed the policy in September 2009.
We have had in the past non-nurses administer Diastat, and there have been some cases of bad outcomes.
Many of the stories that people say, when investigated, may not even hold water.
One case that I've heard about was a student that received 3 doses before calling 911, and the student was intubated on a respirator afterwards.
How do we know that respiratory depression wasn't part of the seizure? Seizures also cause respiratory depression. It is so much safer to try to do it than not to do it.
Dr. Terrace testified that the experience had been very safe.
We have had no problems. It has gone very well. No child has been harmed as a result.
With his experience and opinion, I appreciate that, but I don't believe it's safe across the state in every situation, in every case.
Sacramento lawmakers agreed, and the bill died in committee without ever being voted on.
Don't say this is about safety. It is not. This is purely pressure from the unions because they see it as a jobs bill. I see it as a children's safety bill.
The ulterior motive here isn't protecting our kids. It's getting more nurses.
To say that nurses' associations are putting their interest in front of children could not be further from the truth. Indeed, we have more concern and safety issues for children, and that's why we want to see Diastat given by a licensed professional nurse.
But Dr. Terrace likens the Diastat controversy to CPR.
Society would not be better off if only nurses and doctors were allowed to administer CPR.
Lay people could certainly make mistakes, but we don't ban them from performing this potentially life-saving procedure.
Giving Diastat is safer than administering CPR, so we should allow lay people to learn how to do this.
My feeling is that many physicians and physicians groups do not understand how schools operate. I don't think they appreciate how our school systems are set up and all the responsibilities that we have.
Today it's hard for parents to know if schools will give their children Diastat when they need it. Dr. Terrace says some children will get it quickly. Others will have to wait till they get to the hospital.
We think the solution is school districts need to hire appropriate staff to care for our children.
When I see that people are using children with seizures as a lever to get more school nurses, I think it's wrong.
We say to parents who disagree with this solution, join us in demanding for quality medical care for their child while they're at school.
Needing nurses? Great. Get them in schools, find a way. But don't risk my child's life until that day comes.